In today's class, we will revise 9th chapter. Name of the chapter is Constructors and Destructors. So in last class we have already studied this chapter in detail. So today in this class we will just revise this Constructor and Destructor chapter. So first let us see what is the definition of constructor. So constructor means construction, or construct means it constructs the variables of a class in memory, or it assigns value, it constructs the values of data members of class like this. So constructor, actually constructor is a function. So constructor is a function, but this is not a normal function, this is a special function. Why it is a special function means because this function is having same name as class name. So constructor is a function, special function having same name as class name. So here you can also see definition. A constructor is a special member function of a class with the same name as that of the class. Means constructor is a special member function of a class. So constructor is defined inside class body. So constructor is nothing but a member function of a class. So constructor is a member function of a class, but it is a special function because it is having same name as class name. So function name will be same as class name. So constructor is a special member function of a class having same name as that of class. Then what is the use of constructor? Why we have to use constructor? So constructor is used to initialize the objects of class automatically. Means constructor is used to initialize the object. Initializing means assigning initial value, first value. So using constructor we are assigning or initializing the values to the objects. So it will be done automatically if we are using constructor. So a constructor is executed automatically when an object of a class is created. So it is not necessary to call constructor function explicitly. So constructor function will be called automatically when object of a class is created. So a constructor is executed automatically when an object of a class is created. So here three important points are there about constructor. First point, constructor is a special member function of a class having same name as class name. Second point, constructor is used to initialize the object of a class automatically. Then last and third and last point, a constructor is executed automatically when an object of a class is created. Executed means called, it is called or invoked automatically. So we will see all these things in detail in next topics. So this is about just definition and introduction about constructor. Now how to create a constructor? So the general syntax for creating constructor is here. So this is class keyword, then this is the class name. So here user can select any name for class name. Then open flower bracket means it indicates here class body is starting, and this is closing flower bracket with semicolon. It means here class body ends. So inside this flower bracket there are some statements called as body of a class. So here private section is there. So in private section we have to declare data members, and in public section we have to declare constructor function. So constructor is a function. So it is a special function because here you can see. Okay, I will explain in example. So here this is the constructor and its body. So here this is the example of a constructor, how to create constructor. So class keyword, then class name sum. Here for example we are taking sum as the class name. Then open flower bracket and closing flower bracket. Inside this flower bracket there is body of this class. So in private section, here we are declaring just one variable s, and in public section we are creating a function. So why it is a function? Because any name with opening and closing parenthesis. So if any name is attached with opening and closing parenthesis, then that will become a function. So this is a function. Sum is a function here, but this is not a normal function. This is a special function. Why? Because the name of this function is same as class name. So here you can see class name is also sum, and here function name is also sum. So such type of functions are called as constructor. So functions having same name as class name are called as constructor. So this is the example of constructor, and this is the body of constructor. So here we are initializing s variable with 0 value. So this is an example of a constructor. Okay, then so this is very important, because in examination you may get question like what is constructor, explain with general syntax and example. And sometime you will get a 5 marks question about rules for writing constructor. So many times this question came in the examination. What are the rules for writing constructor? You have to write this for 5 marks. So you have to write, sometime question will come like what is constructor? Write the rules of constructor. So for definition you will get 1 marks, and 4 rules you have to write for remaining 4 marks. Then total you will get 5 marks. So what are the rules for writing constructor? So first one is, first a constructor has same name as that of the class. So already you know constructor is always having same name as that of class. Means class name should be same and function name also should same, then only that function will become constructor. So first rule is a constructor has same name as class name. Then there is no return type for constructors. So here you can see this is some constructor. So directly we are writing function name. Before function name we are not using any data type. So constructor is not having any return type or data type. For example, in this program also, here also one program, some examples are there. So this is class keyword and XYZ is the name of class. So this is XYZ is the class name. So in private section we are creating 2 variables A, B. So these are called as class variables or data members. And in public section, so here we have created a function. Here you can see we are creating a function, name is XYZ. So actually this is a function because this is a name attached with this opening and closing parenthesis. So any name which is attached with opening and closing parenthesis, that is called as function. So basically it is a function, but this is a function, but the name of this function is same as class. So the name of this function is XYZ and class name is also XYZ. Hence this function will become constructor, because any function having same name as class name, then that function will become constructor. So this is a constructor and this is the body of constructor. So here for creating constructor we are using just function name. Before function name we are not using any data type or return type. So actually when we are creating some normal function, then we have to take some data type like void, int, float. For example, in this program also, here you can see this welcome is a function because it is attached with opening and closing parenthesis. So name of function is welcome, but before this function name we are using data type like void. So this is a data type or return type. So in normal function we are using data type or return type before function name, but while creating constructor function we are not using any return type. So this is about second point. There is no return type for constructors. Then a constructor should be declared in public section. So in already you know in class there are three sections: private section, public section and protected section. So we have to declare the constructor in public section like this, in public section. So here also you can see constructor, this XYZ is a constructor and this is the body of constructor. This constructor is declared in public section. So this is third rule about constructor. A constructor should be declared in public section. Then a constructor is invoked automatically when objects are created. So it is not necessary to call the constructor by using its name. So constructor function is always called automatically when objects are created. For example, here this is XYZ class and here we are creating object, name is OBJ. So when we write this line, so in this line we are creating object from XYZ class. So then it will be automatically calling the constructor. When here when we are creating an object, then computer will automatically call this XYZ constructor. So constructors are invoked or called automatically when objects are created. Then last point, it is not possible to refer the address of constructor. So in every normal function, the functions are having some memory address, but constructors are not having addresses. So we cannot refer the address of constructors. So this is about rules for writing constructor function. So next we will see types of constructors. So there are three types of constructor. So this is very important because in examination you will get a 5 marks question like explain types of constructor with general syntax and examples. So here there are three types of constructors. Name is default constructor, parameterized constructor and copy constructor. So three types of constructors. Now we will see definition of these different types of constructor one by one. So here first, what is default constructor? So default constructor means, definition is a constructor that does not take any argument is called as default constructor. So sometimes default constructor is also called as zero argument constructor. Zero argument constructor. For example, you can see here this is here we are example is given. Example of default constructor. Here we are creating class sum. So this is private section, one variable s. In public section we are creating constructor having same name as class sum. So here you can observe, you can notice inside parenthesis there is no argument. So this sum is a constructor without any argument or zero argument or zero parameter. So any constructor without any argument or a constructor with zero argument is called as default constructor. Then the features of default constructor are, so it can be explicitly written in public section of the class. So default constructor is written in public section of the class. So this is the public section. Here we are creating a default constructor. The purpose of default constructor is to construct a default object of the class type. In simple words, the purpose of default constructor is to initialize the object of a class, just in simple words. So purpose of default constructor is to initialize object of a class. So this is about default constructor. So here in programming example also you can see. So this xyz is a function, but this function is having same name as xyz class, means this function name is also xyz and class name is also xyz. So if a function having same name as class, then that will become constructor. So basically xyz is a function, but due to same name as class it will become constructor. And this is default constructor. Why? Because in parenthesis we are not writing any argument, or we are not giving any parameter. So xyz constructor is without any argument. So if a constructor is not using any argument or not using any parameter, then that will become default constructor. So xyz opening and closing parenthesis just. So this is default constructor. Okay. So next type of constructor is parameterized constructor. So parameterized constructor, from name itself you can guess, means this constructor is using some parameters. Okay, let us see the proper definition. So what is parameterized constructor? A constructor that takes one or more argument is called parameterized constructor. Means any constructor which accepts minimum one or more than one parameter or argument, then that constructor will become parameterized constructor. So here example is this class name is sum, and in private section here one variable is there s, and in public section one function is there. So name of function is sum. So here class name is also sum and function name is also sum. Hence this function will become constructor. But in this constructor we are using two parameters or two arguments, a comma b. So this constructor is using two parameters. So this is called parameterized constructor. So here it is using two arguments. So it is very simple. Parameterized constructor means a constructor which accepts one or more parameters is called parameterized constructor. So here you can see in this programming example also. So here first this xyz, this is also a constructor because here class name is xyz and function name is also xyz. So this function is a constructor, but here we are not using any parameter. But see here xyz, another function. So this function is also having same name xyz as class name. So this is also a constructor. But in this constructor we are using one parameter or one argument x. So here we are using one argument. So this constructor becomes parameterized constructor and it is using one argument or one parameter. So parameterized constructor means any constructor which uses one or more parameters. So in this example, this is the body of parameterized constructor. So this xyz int x. So this is a parameterized constructor using only one argument. So another example, another function xyz. So this is also constructor, but this constructor is using two parameters p comma q. So this is also example of parameterized constructor. It is using two arguments. So like this. So parameterized constructor means any constructor which accepts two or more parameters. So now, so this is features are also very important. For 3 marks this question will come compulsory about any one constructor, default, parameterized or copy. Write the features of any one type. So the features of parameterized constructor. The parameterized constructors are used to initialize objects. The parameterized constructor can be overloaded. So default constructor cannot be overloaded, but parameterized constructor can be overloaded by just changing the number of arguments or types of arguments. So here you can see this is a parameterized constructor because it is using one parameter. So here also this is also parameterized constructor, but here we are using two arguments. So both are constructor, but they are different in parameters. Here only one parameter, here two parameters. So this is called as constructor overloading. So just by changing the types or number of parameters, we can overload parameterized constructor. Okay, next. The parameterized constructor can have default arguments and default values. Means we can assign default value in the parameter itself. So this is about parameterized constructor. Okay, last type is copy constructor. So definition of copy constructor is a parameterized constructor using which one object can be copied to another object. So copy constructor is a parameterized constructor because copy constructor is also using some parameters. So copy constructor is a parameterized constructor, and copy constructor is used to copy the one object into another object. So here you can see, so this is some class in public section. Here we are declaring constructor function some name, and here this is copy constructor because here we are not using normal parameters. So this is a reference parameter and data type is class name. So in normal parameterized constructor we are using simple data types, integer like this, but in copy constructor we are using class type. So main use of copy constructor is to copy the value of one object into another object. So here you can see, so this is a constructor xyz, and this is a copy constructor because inside parameters we are using xyz class name and parameter as reference variable. So this is the body of copy constructor and this is copy constructor. So what is the use of copy constructor? So simple. What is copy constructor? Copy constructor is a parameterized constructor because it accepts parameter, and copy constructor is used to copy the one object into another object. So here you can see, this is the example of copy constructor. So here xyz is the class name, object 4. So object 4 is a new object we are creating, and object 3 already created here. So object 3 value is 100. So we are copying this 100 value of object 3 into object 4 by using equal to operator. So this is called as calling copy constructor, or this is done using copy constructor. So just you have to remember what is copy constructor. So copy constructor is a parameterized constructor. It is used to copy the value of one object into another object. So now the features of copy constructors are, so it is used to initialize an object with values of already existing object. Means copy constructor is used to copy the existing object value into new object. To state objects as by value parameters of a function, and copy constructor can accept a single argument of reference to same class type. So here in example, third point is explained. So here this copy constructor is accepting only one argument of type class. Next, copy constructor is not invoked explicitly, means we cannot call copy constructor by its name. So it will be automatically called by the compiler when we copy the value of one object into another object like this. So here we are copying the value of object 3 into object 4. So it will automatically call the above copy constructor. So this is about types of constructors. So here main thing you have to remember, there are three types of constructors: default constructor, parameterized constructor, and copy constructor. So default constructor means a constructor that does not take any argument or parameter. Means a constructor which is not accepting any parameter like this. So only constructor name and empty parenthesis. So this empty parenthesis means this is a default constructor, or it is also called as zero argument constructor. Then what is parameterized constructor? So parameterized constructor is a constructor that takes one or more argument. So example, here this is a constructor and inside parenthesis we are using two parameters. So any constructor which is using one or more parameter or one or more argument, then that constructor is called as parameterized constructor. Then last, copy constructor. So copy constructor is a parameterized constructor. So it is used to copy the value of one object into another object. So this is about types of constructors. Okay, next heading is invoking constructor. Invoking means calling, how to call the constructor after creating constructor inside class body. Next, how to call, or how invoking means calling, or calling means using, how to use, how to call, like this. So a constructor is automatically invoked or called by C compiler with an object declaration. The constructor can be invoked through the following methods. So there are 2 points. Constructor is called automatically when we create an object. So here we can see in this first line we are creating an object. XYZ is the name of class, obj is the object. So when we write like this, so compiler will create an object and it will automatically it will call the constructor. So this default constructor will be called automatically when we write this line. So constructor is called or invoked automatically when we create an object. Second, there are different methods also there. So constructor can be invoked through the following methods. So first, constructor is called automatically by the compiler. Second, we can also call the inverter using 3 methods. They are called as implicit call, explicit call, initialization with equal to operator. So implicit means automatic. Explicit call means by using name of that constructor. So in implicit call, we are not taking the name of that constructor. In explicit call, we have to use the name of constructor. So first see the definition. What is implicit call? So an implicit call means the declaration of the object is followed by argument list enclosed in parentheses. So how a constructor is called using implicit call means when we create an object, so during creation of object directly we are passing the values in parentheses with the object name without using constructor name. So this method is called as implicit calling. So here you can see the example. This line is, this is the implicit call parameterized constructor. So here we are not using the name of constructor. So here just we are using class name, object name, and in parentheses we are using 2 values 5, 6. So by writing like this, so object name and values in parentheses, by writing like this we are calling parameterized constructor automatically. So here we are not using the name of constructor, but even though constructor will be called. So here by writing like this, which constructor is called? So this one, because we are passing 2 values in this object 5, 6. 5, 6 means 2 arguments or 2 parameter constructor is called. This one XYZ, integer P, integer Q. So automatically 5 will be copied into P value and 6 into Q. Now A will be 5 and B will be 6. So here by writing like this, class name, object name, and inside parenthesis 2 values. So by writing like this we are automatically or implicitly calling the constructor. So by writing like this, so here we are not using the name of constructor, it will be automatically called. So just we are giving object name and values. So this is called implicit call. So by creating object like this, compiler will call this constructor with two parameter. So here we are passing two values. So compiler will call this two value or two parameter constructor. Okay, next. Next is explicit call. So explicit call means we have to use the name of constructor. So in implicit call, we are not using the name of constructor. So without using name of constructor, we are calling by just giving values to the objects. But here in explicit call, a function. So in explicit call, constructor name is used. Okay, let us see the proper definition. In explicit call, declaration of object is followed by assignment operator, constructor name, and argument list enclosed in parentheses. So in explicit call, when we are creating an object, so during creation of object, we are using equal to operator, name of the constructor, and the values inside parentheses. So here, this is the example. So this is example of explicit call. So here we are using name of constructor XYZ. So in above example, this is implicit call, but here we are not using XYZ name. So this is called as automatic calling, and this is called explicit calling. Explicit means by using the name of that constructor. So explicit call parameterized constructor. So here in this line, we are creating an object. Name of object is obj2, object 2. So here we are calling the parameterized constructor XYZ using equal to symbol and name of constructor with values in parentheses. So in implicit call, we are not using constructor name, just we are giving the value in parentheses. But in explicit call, we are using the name of constructor and values in parentheses. So in implicit call, just without using name of constructor, we are calling, and in explicit call, we have to use the name of constructor. So this is about explicit call. So here in English, definition is given. So by looking on this line also, you can define. So in this line, what we are doing, we are explicitly calling a constructor by creating a object with equal to or assignment operator and name of the constructor with values inside parentheses. So the single line, by looking this line only, you can define the definition of the, you can give the definition of the explicit call. So and in you can here also you can give the implicit call definition. Implicit call means here if constructor is called automatically without using the name of that constructor, but by just declaring a object with parentheses and values. So this is about implicit and explicit call. So last type is initialization with equal to operator. This is the third method. So this method is used for the constructor with exactly one argument. In this method, declaration is followed by assignment operator and value to be initialized. Okay, this equal to operator method will work with only type of constructor which is using only one argument. If in that constructor there are two arguments, then this method will not work. So this third method, equal to operator method, will work when a constructor is using only one parameter or one argument. So in this method, when we are declaring an object, after declaring an object, we are using assignment operator and value. So here you can see the example. So this is the third method of calling constructor. So in this third method also, we are not using constructor name, we are not using parentheses, just we are using assignment operator or equal to operator, this called as assignment operator. So by just using assignment operator, we are calling a constructor. So here XYZ is the name of class, object 3 is the name of object. So here object 3 is created and it is assigned a value 100. So this method is called as initialization using assignment operator. So this will work only for, okay, by writing like this. So I have written like this, class name object name equal to value. So by writing like this, it will call which instructor? So this equal to operator without parenthesis will call constructor having only one argument. So this instructor will be called by that line. So in this constructor xyz, we are using just one parameter x. So by writing like this, this constructor will be called. So these are the three methods of invoking constructors or calling constructor. So first method is implicit calling. In implicit calling, we are not using function name or constructor name. We are just declaring object and values in parentheses. So in second method, this is called explicit call. So in explicit call, we are using the name of the constructor with values inside parentheses. And in third type, initialization using assignment operator. Here we are using assignment operator without function name, constructor name, or without parentheses. So this is about three methods of calling a constructor. Okay, then constructor overloading. So what is constructor overloading? Already we know what is function overloading. What is function overloading? So function overloading means if two or more function having same name but different parameters are called overloaded function. So in same way, constructor overloading definition is there. So a class has two or more constructor function with same name but different parameter list are called constructor overloading. So in simple words, if two or more constructor, okay, constructor means, okay, what is the difference between constructor overloading and function overloading? So in function overloading, functions are having same name but different from class name. Class name is different, function name is different, but two functions having same name but different from class. But in constructor overloading, functions are having same name and class is also having same name. So here you can see the example. So this is the example of function overloading. So in function overloading, so name of function is welcome, and here also name of function is welcome. So here two functions are having same name, but the name is different from class. Class name is xyz. So this is different. Only class name is different, but functions are having same name. So these are the normal functions having same name but different parameters. Here no parameters, and in second function only one parameter is used. So these two functions are having same name but different parameters. So they are overloaded functions. Similarly, constructor overloading. Constructor overloading means function are having same name xyz, 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 and parameters are different. Here only one parameter is there. Here two parameters are there. Here only one parameter is there, but data type is different. Here integer is there and here xyz is there. So all three functions are having same name and different parameters. So they are overloaded function, but they are their name is same as class. So all three functions are having same name xyz and class name is also xyz. So they are overloaded and constructor also. Hence they are called as overloaded constructors. So in function overloading, only functions name are same, class name is different. But in constructor overloading, all function name is also same and class name is also same. This is about constructor overloading. Okay, then last important topic, destructor. So from name itself you can guess what is destructor. So destructor means destroying, removing, deleting. So it will destroy. So what is destructor? A destructor is a special member function that will be executed automatically when an object is destroyed. So destructor is also a member function, but it is a special function. Why special? Because it is also having same name as class name. So destructor, actually what is destructor? Destructor is a function. Constructor is also a function, and constructor is having same name as class, and destructor is also having same name as class. But destructor is called automatically when an object is destroyed. Okay, next, destructor will have the same name as that of class but preceded by a tilde symbol. So what is the difference between constructor and destructor? So constructor is also having same name as class, and destructor is also having same name as class name, but difference is in destructor before the function name we are using tilde symbol. So here you can see. So this is very important. In examination you will get a 5 marks question. Define destructor and explain with syntax and example. So this is the syntax for defining destructor. So this is class keyword, then you can take any class name. In private section data variables are declared. In public section, okay, so this is a function because this name comes with opening and closing parenthesis. So this is a function, but it is not a normal function. This is a constructor because class name. So function name and class name are same. So this is a constructor. And here also function name is same. So here also function name is same, but it is starting with a tilde symbol. So when a function name having same name as class name and it starts with a tilde symbol, then that function is called as destructor. So here example, class keyword, then counter is the name of the class. In private section one variable is used, and in public section, so here we are creating a constructor because this is a function. This is a function and name of this function is counter and class is also counter. So this is a constructor and this is the body of constructor. And in last line, this is a destructor because this function is also having same name as class name, but the name is starting with tilde symbol. So this becomes destructor. So here you can see. So here this is the function. XYZ is a function. So XYZ is a function and class name is also XYZ. So function name is also XYZ and class name is also XYZ, but this function name is starting with a tilde symbol. So this is tilde symbol. So when we use a tilde symbol with a function name which is same as class name, then that is called as a destructor. So actually constructor and destructor both are same, but difference is that in constructor just function name is same as class name, but in destructor function name is same as class name and function name starts with a tilde symbol. So in examination you will get sometime 1 marks question, which symbol is used for creating destructor. So tilde, answer is tilde symbol. So this is destructor. And the last topic, so this is very important. So 5 marks question will come in examination. What are the characteristics of destructor? So destructor name must have the same name as class preceded by a tilde symbol. So here also first point is destructor name should be same as class name, but it should start with a tilde symbol. The destructor cannot take argument, therefore cannot be overloaded. So destructor, so always destructor is having empty parenthesis. Destructor cannot accept argument. So so it is not accepting argument means we cannot overload destructor. Destructor has no return type. So here also you can see this is a function, welcome function, but here we are using return type as void, but in destructor there is no return type. So for constructor and destructor return type is not used. There can be only one destructor in each class. So another condition here, in one class we can create only one destructor, but for constructor you can create many constructor. Here only you can see this is one constructor, second, this is third, this is fourth. So in one class you can create many constructors, but for destructor in one class we can create only one destructor. It should have public access in class declaration. So destructor should be declared in public section. So this is public section and here this is the destructor. So destructor should be declared in public section. Next, the destructor cannot be inherited. So these are the characteristics of destructor. So this chapter 9 is for total 7 marks. So in examination you will get total 2 questions from this chapter. One 2 marks question and one 5 marks question, total 7 marks. But for this year, because this year syllabus is reduced, so in examination you will get 3 questions from this chapter. So 3 questions from this chapter means 1 question of 2 mark, 1 question of 3 marks and 1 question of 5 marks. Total 10 marks. Total 3 questions will come from this chapter and you will get total 10 marks from this chapter. So this is very, very important. For 3 marks, definitely features will be asked or types of constructors will be asked in the examination. So this is about constructor and destructor.